Good day everyone, I am Lloyd Mendoza and I am going to report about the Lesson 2, Adaptation, Accommodations, and Modifications under the Unit 3 of Components of Special and Inclusive Education. So the first one is adaptations. It means changes permissible in educational environment which allow the student equal opportunity to obtain access, results, beliefs, and levels of achievement. Adaptations in inclusive education refer to learning environment, curriculum, or assessment to ensure that students with diverse needs and abilities have equal access to learning and opportunities for achievement. These adaptations may include changes the way information is presented or delivered, in the use of assistive technology or accommodations, modifications to assignments or testing methods, and adjustment to the pace or intensity of instruction. Adaptations aim to provide all students with an equitable learning experience and enable them to achieve their full potential. By recognizing and accommodating individual differences in learning styles, abilities, and needs, adaptations can help to minimize barriers to learning and promote inclusivity in education. For example, a student in a classroom has a visual impairment and has difficulty seeing a small print on a regular textbook. An adaptation that could be made in this situation is to provide a larger version of the textbook or make an audio version so the student can access the same information as their peers and to fully participate in classroom discussions and assignments without hindering by their visual impairment. The next one is accommodations, means changes in the delivery of instruction, type of student performance, or method of assessment which do not significantly change the content or conceptual difficulty of the curriculum. Accommodations refer to changes made to the delivery of instruction, student performance, or assessment methods to help students with diverse needs and abilities participate in a classroom and demonstrate their knowledge and skills. Unlike adaptations, accommodations do not significantly change their content or difficulty level of the curriculum. Instead, they provide support and assistance to student support and assist abilities or needs without altering the curriculum's fundamental concepts. For instance, accommodations for a student with dyslexia may take time providing extra time for reading and writing tasks. Using assistive technology such as text-to-speech software or speech-to-text software, or allowing students provide oral responses instead of written responses on a test. Overall, accommodations aim to provide equal access for educational and opportunities and enable them to demonstrate their knowledge and skills to the best of their ability despite any challenges they may face.
So next, modification. What is modification? Modification is a change of instruction or assessment to make it possible for a student with disabilities to respond more normally. For example, students who are struggling to keep up with the lesson may need to have their instructional time changed. Maybe they need to be learning English in the morning instead of the afternoon. Another example, if a student is struggling to spelling words, maybe she need to have a different spelling list as opposed to the other spelling list that the other students have. So we should always remember that modification is a change in what a student should learn and how they learn it. Next, we have instructional accommodation. Instructional accommodation most often include changes in time, input, output, participation, and level of support. The critical feature of accommodation is that the content of instruction is not changed and the objective stays the same. An example of instructional accommodation is that when a student with a learning disability struggles to identify and remember important information. To address this barrier, her teacher used a handout, digital or hard copy in class. She provides one with key information that is already highlighted. Let us all remember that an instructional accommodation is a change how students learn but do not change what they learn. Lastly, we have the instructional adaptation. Instructional adaptation, by contrast, make the objectives for students with disabilities different from those of their peers. For an example, a teacher might allow the student with learning disabilities to use notes or an open book for a task in which other students are not permitted to do so.